Chryse, the spirited son of the Nasa family, had always been fascinated by the gods and their mystical powers. One sunny afternoon, as he roamed near the banks of the Nile River, he noticed the water bubbling and swirling in an unusual manner. To his surprise, a pair of glowing eyes emerged from beneath the surface, and a massive serpentine figure emerged from the waters. It was Nyami, the river god, known for his legendary protectiveness over the Zambezi River. "Greetings, young Chris." Nyami's voice resonated like the rumble of thunder. "I am Nyami, the spirit of the river, and I have chosen you to be a guardian of the waters." Chryse's eyes widened with wonder and excitement as he beheld the majestic river god. He had heard tales of Nyami's benevolence and had dreamt of meeting him one day. "I am honored, great Nyami," Chryse replied, his voice filled with awe. "What can I do to serve as a guardian of the waters?" Nyami's eyes twinkled with humor, and a mischievous grin spread across his serpentine face. "Well, young one, to prove yourself worthy, you must first learn to harness the power of my roar." With that, Nyami let out a thunderous bellow, and the sound resonated through the air, shaking the ground beneath Chryse's feet. The force of the roar caused ripples in the nearby Nile River, sending tiny waves crashing onto the shore. Chryse couldn't help but laugh with delight. He took a deep breath and let out his own best attempt at imitating Nyami's roar. While it was far from matching the god's powerful bellow, it was a valiant effort that brought a smile to Nyami's face. "Well done, young Chryse." Nyami chuckled. "Your spirit is strong and your heart is pure. You shall wield my power with honor and courage." As Chryse continued to spend time with Nyami, learning to connect with the rivers and its creatures, a troubling event unfolded in the sky above. Vera, the dark goddess of the sky, grew jealous of the prosperity and protection the Nasr village enjoyed under the god's watchful eyes. With a wicked smirk, Vera summoned dark clouds to gather over the village. Thunder roared, and bolts of lightning crackled ominously. But instead of rain, fiery droplets fell from the sky, threatening to set the village's supply storages ablaze. As the villagers panicked, Chryse knew he had to act. He called upon Nyami's powers, feeling the river god's energy surge through him. His eyes glowed with a blue hue, mirroring the waters he now commanded. Chryse summoned a wave of water from the Nile, directing it towards the village to douse the fiery rain. But Vera was not so easily defeated. She retaliated with fierce gusts of wind, trying to steer the fire towards the storages. Just when the situation seemed dire, Aja, with the powers of Oya, the goddess of wind and storms, arrived on the scene. She let out a fierce howl, summoning the winds to her command. As Chryse stood with Aja at his side, ready to face Vera and her fiery storm, he felt a surge of determination and courage. The flames rained down upon them like a torrential downpour, threatening to engulf the village's precious supply storages in a blaze. With Nyami's powers coursing through him, Chryse stretched out his hand towards the Nile, connecting with the river's essence. A current of water swirled around him, forming a protective barrier that shimmered with an azure hue. He could sense the river god's presence, guiding his every move. Aja, with her fierce determination and Oya's powers at her command, positioned herself beside Chryse. The battle between the forces of nature and the dark goddess raged on, with the elements clashing and intertwining in a mesmerizing display of power. The fiery rain hissed as it met Chryse's water barrier, the sizzle and steam filling the air with an otherworldly haze. Vera's dark laughter echoed through the tumultuous sky. Her malevolent presence ever present, She hurled bolts of black lightning towards Kryze and Aja, attempting to break their defenses. But Kryze, drawing strength from his connection with Nyami, remained steadfast. With a flick of his wrist, he directed the water barrier to twist and dance, deftly evading the black lightning's deadly touch. Ajay, with the cunning of Oya, matched the darkness with the tempest's fury. The winds howled and churned, dispersing the sinister clouds and dissipating the fiery rain. Vera scowled, her fury escalating as she found her malevolent efforts thwarted by the Guardian's unity and strength. With a snarl, she summoned a massive whirlwind, aiming to engulf Kryze and Aja in its dark embrace. But Kryze, quick on his feet, drew upon the essence of Nyami's roar. Taking a deep breath, he let out a thunderous bellow that resonated with the power of the mighty river god. The sound waves rippled through the air, pushing back against the whirlwind with a force that even Vera could not ignore. The whirlwind wavered and faltered, its dark tendrils dispersing into nothingness. Kryze's eyes blazed with determination as he and Aja maintained their defensive stance, ready for whatever Vera threw their way. With the forces of Nyami and Oya combined, Kryze and Aja created a powerful elemental barrier, shielding the storages from the fiery rain. The two guardians worked in harmony, their connection with the gods strengthening their bond as they protected the village. With a roar of frustration, Vera retreated, vanishing into the ominous clouds that now dissipated under the combined strength of Kryze's water and Aja's wind. As the fiery storm subsided, the villagers cheered with gratitude and awe. Kryze and Aja were hailed as heroes, and the Nasa family stood proudly by their side. Nyami's booming laughter echoed through the air as he appeared before them, his glowing eyes filled with pride. "You have done well, young Kryze and Aja," he commended. "Together, you have displayed the true strength of guardians." With that, Nyami bestowed upon Kryze an emblem of the river, a symbol of his connection with the river god's power. From that day forth, Kryze became the guardian of the waters, protecting the Nile and its people with the assistance of Aja and her Oya. Given abilities, the Nasa family, now stronger and more united than ever, continued to face the adventures and challenges that lay ahead. With each encounter with the gods and their divine powers, the family's bond with the divine realm grew, and they found solace in knowing that the gods of Egypt were always there to guide and protect. As the Pharaoh's protectors, they were now armed with a new guardian in Kryze, the wielder of Nyami's mighty roar, a force of nature that would forever be by their side, whether in the face of mischievous encounters or the protection of Egypt.